There it is. So no fingernails. This is a little weird for me, so bear with me. Here it is. This is what it looks like. It's just, you gotta pivot on that B string here too, or that B note. There it is. Anyway, good morning, friends. I got an email from our good friend last night, yesterday, Kevin. So I hear what you're saying. I hear it loud and clear, and I will make a contribution. I didn't quite get to the emails I was hoping to get to yesterday, but these days are pretty busy, aren't they? These days are just super jam-packed with fun and excitement, and you know, mostly it's about vanity, of course. Vanity, probably not, but it is busy days, you know, and thankful for that, and thankful for the energy that I have to complete the things that I'm tasked with in my lifetime, for certain. And good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Robbie. Good morning. There was a yoga channel. I'm not sure. Was it Robbie, your niece, or your daughter? Someone's got a yoga friend and fan. I tried looking for that this morning. I didn't have time to get on it, but if you wouldn't mind saying it to me one more time so I can check it out and preview it for tomorrow's workout. So I do these workouts in the morning at 5 o'clock, and then again at about 7:30, 7 o'clock p.m. I'll try to get the you know, to open the day and close the day kind of things going on. It gets pretty stretchy around here. All right, so welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth. And I don't have my uniform on. Here we go. There we go. Oh yeah, pull that back down. Yeah, that way it looks, dog here, we got one of the pooch's hair here. Morning ritual for guitar growth. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, this time of year, because we do enjoy, whether we enjoy it or not, we use daylight savings. And so that matters for some of us. And I wanted to just start with tuning today. We'll use the open A string like we would use if we were just doing a face-to-face guitar session. So I'll give you an A. It is tuned, we'll make the assumption that it's tuned to A440. Robbie Smith, good morning. Sky, good morning. Anthony, good morning. We have a couple moderators on board, so I feel safe operating within the parameters of a net this morning. Super. And if anybody starts falling off the line, we have a net to catch them. So Sky Animates, Scott Sterling, good morning. Have you all seen Scott's guitar yet on the community tabs of this channel? Scott's guitar is just a beautiful guitar. All right, Sky, I was noticed about upcoming show you're having on the 5th, but never see anything about this, and have to go in and out of your account several times. Who's having a show on the 5th? Did I miss something? I might have missed. Vic, good morning. Lion's Den. Yeah, I used to play a club called the Lion's Den. BK Yoga Flow. BK Yoga Flow. All right, check it out. Was I just turning the wrong? I think I was just turning the wrong peg here. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road, if you don't mind. Excuse me, got a little morning funk in there. But I would like to just take a moment to keep that breath going, keep the breath moving. Good morning. That's a new face, right, Moksha? Where are you from? I'm American. Where are you from? Just bought a beautiful acoustic guitar called the 𝗧𝗃𝗀𝗃. It's a ripper. Send us a photograph, man. We'd love to see it. Love to feature it. But if you send it, if you could send like 𝗧cie𝗃𝗲𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 for guitar growth, that would be just help us to get it in the right mailbox. And then that would be super. And then give us a little backstory about anything you're willing to share about the guitar would be appreciated. So we all love to look at wonderful guitars. So take the time to do a really nice little photo essay on it too. Enjoy this, enjoy the process. All right, here we go. We're tuned up. We're going to set an intention. And so I'm setting an intention for my workout today. And it doesn't have to be about guitar. It doesn't have to be, it could be about life in general, but it would be a good idea if this is just an intention that you set for yourself, right? So once we get that set, we'll go ahead and we will proceed. All right, 1E and a 2, fingers 3 and 4, 11 and 12, go. We may work on some, I just started, I was actually planning on this being a finger picking week, a fingerstyle week, but I had as you know, I've had a blowout with the mandolin slicing some jalapenos over the weekend, and I removed some of my middle finger, which included half of the fingernail on my picking hand middle finger, so I'm a little limited. All of my fingernails are now off, but I wanted to revisit the Moody River song. Are you guys familiar with Moody River? It's just a really great. Last Saturday evening, I came to the old oak tree. Was there beside the river where you were to meet me. Right. Really great song. And fingers 2 and 3, 1E and a 2 and a D and a 4, and here we go. Sing an Adele song. Which song? Why not 4, 3, 2? Good morning, Bernard. Good morning, Guitar for Everyone. And let's see. 4, 3, 2. That's a good question. I think I'm missing something this morning. I see something for you coming up on the 5th, starting at 9 a.m. Oh, you do? Oh, well, I'll have to go through and I'll have to scrub through that to just be sure there's not anything. We're getting ready to do another, I call it a members only live stream, and it's really a place where we can just kind of get together and prepare some questions and then cover some things and communicate about some things that we care about personally at the moment. So if you are interested in that, you can always check out the YouTube community tab right on my channel, and that will give us information about when those things are up and coming. 1E and a 2 and a T, fingers 1 and 2 and 11 and 12. But yeah, Sky, thanks for informing me about those notifications. I'm not sure where you're seeing it, but I'll go through and we'll take a good look at what's going on there. So what we don't want to do is introduce confusion into this already, 6-string kind of complex. This is a world of, it's not that the piano is easy, but it is linear. It is approachable by one fashion, in the beginning. There is, there are a bunch of white keys, and some of them are separated by black keys, and you can see the layout in a linear fashion. The guitar has basically, it's not that it's any more or less complex, but it's just a point of order where we have to, sort of understand that there is you know, an E, you know, there, here. In that same E note here, can exist in 6 different places on the instrument. So it is a little bit confusing when we just first get started. So 1 E and a 2 and a fingers 3 and 4. We'll go ahead and stretch 10 and 12. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 and a T E and a bow E and a. So the morning ritual, just in case you're new here, there's no requisite, you know, system of control that says you shall smash the like button, but it certainly, it helps. It helps with the enjoyment, the participation factor. It's the it actually precedes participating in the live chat. So if you're new here and you're just kind of warming up to, you have some burning questions or you have some comments that you'd like to make, smashing the like button can be helpful in sort of like easing into it, you know what I mean? So that live chat though is here for us, it's here for everybody. We have some really great moderators here. If you see a blue wrench, it means that there are moderators kind of here to help out and paying attention. So if you do have specific questions, we can try to focus on those, but this is specifically designed fingers 2 and 3, frets 10 and 12 to be a finger warm-up and a guitar warm-up for the day. So it's really very interesting, so stick around. 2E and a T E and a 4E and a. And what's on the menu this morning is we are going to come back to, at the tail end of this session, we're going to come back to some of the Ted Green style finger stretches that we have been engaging with in the Ted Green chord chemistry series right here at Chase and Carey Guitar. And we're going to put those to work to make some melody in a fingerstyle way. We're just going to approach it with bare skin. Some of us do not maintain fingernails on the picking hand. And that's okay. And I prefer the sound of having fingernails for the purpose of attacking the strings on my picking hand. But it's not always the case. I don't always manage to keep those. You know, sometimes I'll mandolin some of them off. Or they break, you know, and 1 E end of fingers 1 and 2 will stretch. 10 and 12, go. But anyway, the trick is to enjoy fingerstyle, whether you're a fingernail player or just a finger tip player. And we'll talk a little bit about that today. So, good morning, Dan, Mr. Husband. Arthur Ballington. So we have someone from Kathmandu, from Nepal, from Moksha, from Nepal. What a great place to be from. And then we have another from Egypt here this morning. Arthur, good morning, kind sir. Mark, smashing the like button, doing the housekeeping, light housekeeping. Good morning, Raul. Yeah, here we go. Seeing the loves come in here, and someone's really kind of working that slider there. Good, all right. So I think this is already kind of burning my hands a little bit, so I've got to stretch. We're close enough to the 15-minute marker where I'm just going to go ahead and get us a good stretch going. So let's see what we've got here, shall we? So we've got a straight elbow, and then we've got to just pull this back for 15 clicks. Nothing serious. Nothing serious. We're not, doing the kung fu things. Jill, I see you there. Jill, good morning. Thank you for tuning in again today. I hope you're benefiting from this, and I hope your hens are doing well. Tango Rhythm Official, good morning. I see the nice wave button there. That's super. So we're just working on the stretch. Just working the stretch, just quick and simple. I don't want to introduce any micro tears, so what I'm doing here is just kind of keeping things oxygenated by breathing, and then good posture is important and enough to me to, what I've found is I've been sustaining, I know it sounds weird, I know it sounds completely nuts, but I've been sustaining workplace injury, you know, because of the amount of time that I play the guitar. As a guitar practitioner, as guitar players, I have to ask myself, what do guitar players do? And then we play the guitar. I'm going to rewind for a minute here and ask, like, why do I play the guitar? Why do I play the guitar? Is it like a piece of my identity? Do I need it to inform who I am as a person? Geez, I hope not. But I am a guitar player. That's a large part of who I am. So and I'm sure it's a large part of who you are. I want to keep this healthy. So the easiest thing I can address right now immediately is to the self-care, the physical self-care piece of it is the stretching. So I have to do yoga in the morning, and I have to do yoga at night. And I do 20 minutes here and there, 20 to get started, 20, 30, 20 to get finished up. And then what happens to me, because I sit like this, right? So you'll see me right now, I'm sitting direct to camera, and then my body is sort of like almost the same, sitting in unity with this, my legs. Frequently, when I'm playing the guitar, my legs will be over here, and then my guitar will be over here, which means my torso follows that. So now when I stand up, it feels normal for me to be like this. When my legs straight down on the ground, it feels normal for me to, so I really have to be careful about stretching and counter stretching. So it's really important, and I only say this because it can be really painful to have lower back problems, and I don't want to overlook that because it's a very serious thing. If you're spending hours a day on your guitar, or half an hour a day on your guitar, I would highly recommend, the thoughtful consideration of a good solid stretch. Poland, I missed Poland. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, right on. All right, so now just to keep my body moving correctly, what I'd like to do is start shifting things a little bit. All right, so this is how I'm going to contain that. So my legs are going this way, my body's going this way. So I'm changing postures. Okay, that's it's kind of important. It's not really glamorous, but it's important to know about, I think. Specifically for me, right? So here we go. And fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on 10, 11, and 12, and we'll continue on. 10, 11, and 12, if you can't see it, that's just alternate picking with the right hand. Picking hand. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do. And good question. Who's playing along with us? Yeah, Dan's got a thumbs up for you. You know I am. Sky is. I'm not a player yet. I'm just practicer, but getting there. You absolutely watch my recordings, then you know. Yeah, Mr. 𝗪𝗀𝗀 is just on fire. Guitar is another language for expression, correct, relation, and connection to yourself and the world around you. Yeah, so what happens to the people who play this like are lifelong practitioners? What happens to the people like Andrei Segovia, who thinks, you know, when he reaches 90s and he's still finding new ways to create new tone, playing for an entire lifetime. So you maintain that neuroplasticity, you maintain that connection with the world that, you know, sort of only, you know, high-level professional people might really enjoy. So let's take a look at this. Fingers 1 and 2 and 3, 10, 11, and 12. 1 E and a 2 and a T and a 4. Very simple. Word, Scott. Yeah, very cool. Oh, yeah, staring at your fretboard isn't always that good. It's not a good idea. So you'll notice that frequently I don't look at my guitar neck. I would encourage you. So I had someone early on in my life probably realize that that was going to be a problem for me because I have this obsession with just, I'm a 110% kind of person. And probably this tutor knew that about me, he recognized that in me. He knew I was going to spend some time. So he encouraged me to practice with my eyes closed, or I don't really need to look at the guitar fretboard because my fingers can literally feel the way around the guitar neck. You can feel with your fingers where they are, how close they are to each fret. You can feel like where you are roughly on the guitar neck through gross motor skill indexing, right? So I know right here I'm in position number 1. Right here, if I'm on this guitar, I know if I'm on the butt, if I reach the butt of the guitar, I know that I can reach 9th position with my index finger. So I know right away with a little bit of a lean back, right? It's almost like a quick first finger stretch. So there are these landmarks where we can sort of like, each instrument has their own sort of like intricacies that we can become familiar with. And it's worth it to me to work on, let's say yoga, for example, or core strengthening so that I can sit upright and I'm not slouched over my guitar. I used to, in university, one of my good friends, his name was Dougie. And so fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 9, 10, 11, and 12. So Dougie used to sit like this. You know, he used to sit like this and just be, and then I really just be hunched over the guitar. And I'm not sure, I just only can imagine that would be like a really serious, it just open up, and it just invite injury, you know? 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4, but it looked really cool on stage. It really looked like he was engaging with the moment. But I think just working on the 9, 10, 11, and 12, you know, that 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise, there are all kinds of these permutations. So what am I doing here? Why am I doing these things? Is my thumb enjoying the feel of the back of the guitar neck? Can my thumb kind of improve its positioning so that it more equally distributes power throughout the front of the fret hand? Am I cognizant of the feel of the finish on the back of my guitar neck? Am I breathing correctly still? Can I observe all of these? How many of those things can I observe at once in real time before I start to lose, you know, my ability to continue moving forward with the musical line that I'm practicing at the moment? So sometimes, you know, I just wonder what it is that and I'm sure I've heard this from hundreds and hundreds of in-person students over the years. And some have this like existential crisis. You know, some of us wonder, you know, what it is we're doing and feel like it might be a profound waste of time. And that's an actual legitimate concern because, you know, we have to have something to trade. We have to have, you're either buying or selling, right? And so what are we doing with this time? Like, what is the point of this time to become proficient in the art, the fine art of guitar practicing, you know? You know, if I play on Carnegie stage, if I'm getting to that point where I'm touring the planet, and I mean, what's the goal there? You know, what is the goal there? Is it to commune with the entire energy of the audience in the moment? Those moments are fleeting, you know, I think. So fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and stretch 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, here we go. So we're using 9, 10, 11, and 13. So here's another guitar posture that I like to, you know, just check out once in a while. Sometimes this is a posture that I can use. I have to use a strap because I'm pushing and pulling with the guitar strap sometimes to reach some of these intervals or some of these finger stretches really cause some, you know, some contorted sort of posturing. And that's okay, right? So we don't live here for the entire period of time. What we do is we get in and out of these postures, let's say to make, you know, we'll look at this in this melody. So this upcoming melody, these finger stretches are specifically designed to give us access, ease of access, to lower the border, to lower the barrier for access to songs that are more, you know, so quote unquote complicated. You know, complications are all relative to where we might be at any one given moment. So even though I've played for decades, there are still going to be complications for me, and there are a lot of complications for a person like me, you believe it, but tons of, you know, more complications than not. Like for the example, like here's a complication. Like how do you, and I don't know how all of you are doing this, but every day, every weekday morning at 7:30, how do you even accomplish getting here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m.? Like that's a complication. To me, that's something that was, you know, that needed to be overcome to get here. So that's huge. That's huge to me. To me, that's like speaking volumes of. All right, enough talking. So fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll stretch back. We'll kick it back to, let's go ahead and just get the posture just checked here. Fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I'm kicking it back this time. We've already stretched the 4th finger. Now I'm stretching the 1st finger. After this pass, I'm going to just reintroduce the stretch, the forearm stretch, simple forearm stretch. I should really get into the forward bend, you know, like giving your lumbar some relief. But you can start looking at your own yoga programs if you want, to which I would highly recommend. So fingers 1 and a 2 and a you know what to do. And if you're new here, you can start by bringing a guitar. And we all personally invite you to join us because we're all with guitars. Well, many of us are with guitars in hand. And we meet here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time this time of year. And do the things like breathing, the things like stretching, the things like tuning up, and continuing to do those things that we don't typically expose our audience to. The audience doesn't typically get exposed to this kind of I think we'll call it a performance anyway. It's still a performance, even though there may not be a typical audience. But even if there's no audience, I'm always imagining an audience. I'm always doing the creative visualization. That's so huge for me, because if I did not do that, when I get in front of an audience, if I didn't imagine them every single note, I might have a panic attack. I might just fully just, whoa. I mean, there's nothing saying I wouldn't put my guitar down and just run from the stage. I mean, I hope that wouldn't happen, especially if concert tickets were purchased. But it is one of those things that we use to prepare ourselves, our minds, we prepare for the audience. And that's one of the things that we're here to do, I believe, is to conserve all of humankind that preceded us through the context of the things that have come to us down the generations, intergenerationally from. Folk transfer is a good way of transferring the thing. So like what we're doing today is, we might consider this folk transfer. So this would be the unorganized, sort of like the natural way to share the thing. You know, like I'm coming out of my cave and I say to my cave dwelling buddy, ooga booga, and that he knows that to mean like, okay, now I need to sharpen my spear so I can go with him on the hunt. And so I wouldn't have known unless he told me ooga booga, right? So now I know I need to sharpen my spear because I might need it to be sharp so that it doesn't bounce off of the prey. So whatever it is, that folk transfer is supremely important, but then there's also this catalog of breadth of human knowledge that's contained in a repository of music notation and manuscripts. So there's some very high level thinkers, and we want to get in the minds of those people. So like Fernando Sor and Jim Hall and Pat Martino, all of those players that have preceded us, just it's good to know how to read probably at some point. Not essential, you know, but you know, probably worth it. So where were we at? Once in a while, I'll get off on a talking spree, and let's check in on some of these comments. So throw some yoga. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my daughter went to Bali last year to become a yoga instructor. She really bends me. Good for you, man. Right on. Oh yeah. That would be a great thing. If you can email me that link, we'll share it to the community tab. The Segovia Masterclass, Raul. That's really cool. There's nothing more blasphemous than an electric guitar turned up too high. Frank Zappa. I've been on we'll get on traveling in the van, and we'll put the Bluetooth on or whatever, and it's an apostrophe overnight sensation. We've been doing a tremendous amount of listening to that. So really cool stuff there. Love the Zappa quote, the Zappa connection. I realize my age, I don't bend that much. My wife and I used to do the PX90 workout, and the yoga was by far the hardest. It's a great workout. You'll see you will never see my thumb again. All right, let's see, anything going on here? Retired, good for you. Got it. Hey Mark, take care, man. Yeah, we'll see you again soon. All right, so here we are we did the fingers 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and do we didn't do fingers, did we do 2 and 4? We did. I don't feel like we did this one yet. I'd like to introduce some new stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about some new stuff. I was thinking maybe we could start with a couple of new things tomorrow. Let's keep on with the finger stretching. So I just wanted to get this because later on today, just in the next 15 minutes or so, we're just working on getting from this G here this is the equivalent of the G I use in the song called Arabian Moon on the Rebirth album. And it was a song about these, they're looking for oil. They got to go find the oil, but the only way that they were finding the oil in the Zagros Mountains was to have a big salt deposit. And so we worked on these particular programs. So we're getting ready for the record, for the recording of the album, and I've got 80 pounds of gear on my back, and we're up in the mountains, and we're recording. We've got all this sound audio equipment, and we've got these big, dead cats, and all this audio equipment that we've set up, and laptops and audio capture devices, sleeping on rocks overnight in the middle just to get there. And we got some really, really great recordings, some wind gusts, some mountainous recordings. Those are actual field recordings that we made for the album, right? So those took a tremendous amount of effort to get. You can hear that in the chorus. The song is actually played, it's written in 𝗬𝗏𝗃. So the fingerings look a little bit different, and they sound a little different with the 𝗬𝗏𝗃. It's really a great song. It's kind of, I'd like to recut it at some point, but it's good for when it was released, I think. But the chorus, you hear all of that mountainous sort of ambience in the background. So if you hear it, I'd love to know whether you can hear it or not. All right, so let's take a quick look at this stretch, and then so I'm really working on trying to get to this E minor stretch right here. And what it is, it's the E minor, the E low E in the bass, the A, the 4 of the E, and then the B, and then the D right back here on fret 3 on the B. So we have fret 7, and then we're reaching fingers basically with 4 and 2, and then finger 1 on fret number 3 on the B, right? So 2 is on fret 4 on the G. Excuse me, 7 on the D, 4 on the G, finger 1 on the D. I think I said that correctly. And then we drop the bomb here. Right, so that's what we're looking for. We're pretty much looking for this chord shape that transitions to this chord shape with the common tone of that B note stays common, right? So I have to remember where I'm trying to transition from. The rest of it's pretty easy. It's like, and then we get into that, that other part where we actually have to go back from here to here. I don't know how to get this on camera all that way. Here we go. But I have to get transition to that E chord before I play that G. And that should have been, that pickup note should have been that E note, right, to that E chord. And then, so you see what I mean? So I have to work out these, stretches, right? So these stretches are somewhat customized to my goals as a, what am I in, gear acquisition mode or whatever. Collecting gear so that I can, be a filmmaker. I'm collecting gear so I can be a rock climber. I'm collecting gear so I can be a house builder. I'm collecting gear so I can be a, a commercial diver. Whatever the thing is, I'm collecting gear right now in the way that it's fundamentally technology, guitar technology. So, which is human technology, I think. It's basically fingers. So I need to get that stretch from 4 to 3, 4 to 2. So that's a 2. You can see that there are 2 frets in the middle here, pretty easy to see. And then that justifies this stretch right here. So this is what I'm going to do just to work out my hand so that when we get to this in the next 5 minutes, that we'll be prepared to actually reach that E minor, 7/11 chord. Right, all right. 1 E and a 2, so fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12. So 1 E and a 2 and a T E and a go. Hey Sue. I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't realize you were here. So thanks for coming, Sue. I hope I didn't miss you. It looks like you might be already on the road. But this is really kind of giving my fingers a little bit of a workout here. I'm really focusing on just getting long, clear tones. Just making the thing happen, just getting that stretch done. After this, I'm going to even it out by stretching fingers 1 and 3 in the same way, using the same methodology with the 2 frets skipped between each digit, between each distal phalange. So we have this 1 and 3, so frets 9 and 12, 1 E and a 2, and a D and a 4. Hey, Louis. Great live stream. Wow. Thank you very kindly. That's a warm thing to hear, and it's a great way to start the day. Hearing the praise. So we don't hear praise often enough, and sometimes we can sort of wonder about how to receive praise. And the best thing that I've witnessed is to just genuinely be thankful. So thank you very much. All right, so we have a little bit of a stretch coming here, but I wanted to do one more workout with that 1 and 4. So I think I'm going to do, so typically 1 and 4 would be like the stretch would be here. I'm going to see if we can just work it a little bit harder today to get down to a, 1, 2, so what do we have? Like typical would be stretch back to here, to 8. Let's stretch back to 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 frets between. So I'm going to have to be cognizant. I'm going to have to really pay attention that my fingers don't slip and do like a 3 fret spread. This is something that it's so easy, and it's so terribly easy to overlook. If you were Alan Holdsworth, Mr. Alan, the late great Mr. Alan Holdsworth, you did not overlook it. This was your career. 1 E and a 2 and a T and a fo E and a. It's this really great angular sound too, isn't it? Once in a while you can hear whether you're sort of snapping out of that position, or it's got a really distinctive flavor. So sometimes this will come out in my guitar playing, right? So this will come out in some of my improvisations. I'll probably adapt it so that it's like diatonic to the key of the moment, but this is just one of those things where I'm really feeling the stretch right here. And I'm really, if you're not feeling the burn, you must be made, $6 million man or whatever, just like, or woman. But here we go. We've got that stretch. Just going to do an extended stretch here, and I know this is super exciting to watch. So, but I just don't have time to sit around and stretch for the whole live stream. Otherwise, I would, right? I would definitely stretch, but for the entire live stream, I probably wouldn't do that. I probably would do something like 15 clicks, similar to what I'm doing now. Have to pop my hand off the fretboard. Yeah, did you feel it? I was feeling it. It was like ready, it was on fire, like for a hot minute there. And you know what happened? I stopped breathing. So every time I start feeling that burn, I think to myself, man, I've stopped breathing. And as soon as I get a huge breath in and feed that tissue what it needs, it goes away. So this is a moment that I take to remind myself that every time I exercise the guitar, primary interest is in the breath. If I can't control my breath, I can't control really anything else in my life, right? So breath is super important for me, you know, and I keep thinking when I get irritated, you know, breath, Jason, breath. And it's becoming easier and easier all the time. And I say that, and I'll be punished for saying that later today, I bet. But not punished, but it'll resurface, I think, to test me again later today, I bet. I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow. But super simple breathing techniques, just super easy stuff. Scott Sterling says, my biggest issue with anything regarding consistency is really needing some outside structure to follow through. I thank the algorithm gods for bringing me here, and you in turn for the environment. Wow, I wasn't sure like how any of this was going to work. I just wasn't sure about how it's going to, you know, in a non-commercial setting. I think I always liked, like for example, we started a conservatory of music. I founded and directed a conservatory of music, but it wasn't a conservatory in the sense that you might think it was a conservatory. It was non-graded, and adults, we had learners of all ages, and they loved it, man, just loved it. Learn at their own pace, no stress, self-improvement at, you know, studying the things that we know and love. Well, I mean, why would we do anything else? 60-40, I guess, 60-40, 60% things you like, 40% things you don't like. Or I don't know if it's the other way around, but I do know that if there's no deposit, there's no return. So that keeps me coming back to the table, and you keep me coming here too. So this encouragement works both ways. Works both sides of the fence here. So build yourself a schedule in Excel, or oh yeah, I had to do that. I actually had to draft a schedule. It took me 3 weeks to write my schedule. It was a 14-hour day or something like that, 16-hour day, and then my wife says, you know, you should probably get it down to about 8. So I'm back up to like 12 or something like that. Really up to 20, but it's not all guitar practice. Some of it's recording, some of it's production, some of it's, you know, it's just, it is important to kind of prioritize the things that we love in life. Yeah. The people we love in life. Super important. Okay, all right, so let's jump into this. This is just a really simple, just getting that thumb, and I'm using no fingernails here too. This is total folk approach to the guitar. I do not have, sometimes what will happen as we perform fingerstyle like this with no fingernails. I usually have fingernails, so usually my technique is quite a bit different. You know, it's more like a classical, or what you might see 𝗪𝗪𝗀 𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀 do. Like the fingers are sort of like reaching for the strings, and you would see that typically, but I don't have any fingernails left. They're all off. So for whatever reason, but you could actually, when you're doing this thumb pattern, you don't need fingernails. So what happens is we do this, we'll get blisters here, it will be painful. Hopefully you can manage that problem. Get through that whole problem. You know how to manage blisters. I wouldn't use moleskin or anything like that, super glue. I would get to the point where the skin starts to separate, but don't push it any further. Let it heal overnight. Just stay at it, but I would recommend not reaching the point of injury. Played my guitar until my fingers bled. It was the summer of '69. It's cool if you want to do that, if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead. But I would also recommend that for some reason I'm thinking like David Lee Roth screeching for some reason. Not sure what that's all about. But that steadiness is coming from 60 beats a minute, just plucking through the string, hitting that low E string, falling into, literally falling into the next higher string. I'm exaggerating the amount of pressure needed to use, we need to use, because I want it to translate okay from me to you. But this is, I could really play a lot with a lot less force. And I'm focusing on breathing, and in order to get the mechanic of this correct, I expect to play this for, I don't know, 350 times. I mean, does that seem unreasonable? It's probably consistent with what you expect in order to do anything correctly, right? I never do anything right the first time around. It takes me usually 350 times to get it right. So I would just encourage you to just work on this pattern. This is the pattern we need before we even introduce any left hand, or no, I'm sorry, fret hand. I don't mean to marginalize left-hand guitar players. So my fret hand, please forgive me. So my picking hand now is just working on down, 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 up on the G string, and that's all we're going to do. We're just going to prepare the finger picking pattern. 3, 4, 1, and up on the G string. So with the index finger on the G. And then we come down 1, and on beat number 2, we're going to pinch. We're just pinching like an eagle picking, or an osprey picking a salmon, or whatever, out of the lake. We're just kind of doing the old eagle claw, pinching in a way. Just pull, pressure, and pull, pressure and pull. We don't need a lot. It's not like we're, there's no ANSI standard, there's no pressure standard for this, but it is just, it's a feel thing. So I would probably try, you can see like, that's not feeling really great for me. So I would start by, I don't want to lose the downward momentum, that rest. So when I pull up on the middle finger, I have to remember that that thumb technique does not want to change, but I really want those two tones to execute at exactly the same time. So problem number 1, this is a barrier for entry into the finger picking world, right? I'm coming with the middle finger, I'm coming up and away. This hurts a little bit because my fingers, this is the part that came off of the mandolin. But that's all right. Take one for the team. So I'm just kind of pulling up and away. Nice, easy, simple finger technique. But the thumb is still, the middle coming up and away. It's not coming to the next smaller string and resting. We're not doing the, what is apoyando or I forget which one is called the rest stroke and the free stroke in flamenco. So either way, it's the free stroke. This is the rest stroke. So we're performing 2 separate techniques here, which is a little, So we're coming down through. Oh, I think I got it finally. 350 times later, finally got it. So I could also work on slightly offsetting those. So or getting together, or getting like slightly after. But keeping my thumb on the beat. Even if it's just a split second, before the downstroke, it's still a separation, and we can perceive the melody a little more clearly like that. So here's the first part. So if we have the thumb up, and then thumb, index, and then together. Thumb, index, together. Thumb, index, together. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Simple simple stuff, but if we don't do it, we'll never know the joys of fingerstyle or finger picking guitar. And this is just a little arrangement of Moody River. I think I arranged this a while ago. I forget how long, you know, it's been around for a little while, but it's so I'm using 3 on the low E string, 3 on the B string, finger 1, finger 2, so the root and the 5th, and then the 3rd of the chord, the G, the B, is on fret 4, sorry, on the G string. And then we can do 2 things. We can use the ring finger to grab that high E string, or we can use that middle finger to do double duty. And I'm a fan of assigning both. I'm a fan of both techniques, but I'm also a fan of assigning the fingers to the top 3 strings. So index is G, middle is B, ring is high E for this kind of exercise. So I've got to really work on that fingering too. So let's go ahead and take a look at it from this, what angle is going to be best for us here. Oh, here we go. I think this will do it. This will be sufficient. You can see the fingering here, and then you can see a little bit of what's going on. I really appreciate that, Robbie. Yep. And this is complicated enough for me that I would come back to this and look at it again. So we're at 55 minutes in. If you come back to revisit this. The next chord, which is the one that we worked on, I need to get to this before we jump today because this is so important. Muy important. So, and muy bueno for the guitar technique. So we're using finger, like we said earlier, now we've got these fingers all stretched out, so we've earned it, we can play it now. So we have this fret 7, fret 4, fret 3. Opening up that G string. Oh, that's the secret, that's the kicker right here. Now, that's the other kicker is by the time I hit this note again, I only hit it once. The second time I hit it, I need that pickup note to be there on this, in place for this next chord, okay? So, ooh, that means I also have to transition. I have to move a lot of stuff. So I can't keep, nothing stays the same. I have to swap out this 3rd finger for the 2nd finger. And while I do that, I'm watching that 1st finger move from fret 3 on the low E string to fret 3, replacing the 2nd finger that's moving here. Then once I have those 2 in place, that 4th finger just goes for the, it's doing the, you know, the leap of faith, right? So here's that. Typical, you know, if we wanted to remain true to the style, the stylistic approach, we would offer like a little bit of a swing to the rhythm. So it'd be more like dotted 16ths or whatever. So. Here we go. Whoop, there we go, almost there. What are we doing? as I found it. I'm really using that, really. That second finger is really the pivotal finger. So please, please investigate that further. I really appreciate you being here tomorrow. Maybe we'll finish up the and then whatever tomorrow. Okay, so we'll have at it again tomorrow, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here, Kevin. Thank you for being here, Anthony. Thank you for being here, for Raul, Robbie, everybody. That's I really appreciate you all being here, and especially the newcomers. We'll see you again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and bring your guitar. Bring your guitar, bring your good humor, and we'll see you then. All right? Happy, until we meet again, I wish, let me do this. Until we meet again, I wish you happy picking. Here we go. I do. Nope. Let's see if I can push end with my glass.